This video is intended to describe a light blade talisman named Skywalker. I will start with the main blade band consisting of peridot and rutilated quartz. Peridot is a lovely third and fourth higher stimulation. Oh yes, and this is my horrific chakra map, which I'll be utilizing as the visual guide of stimulation points in this visual tour of this crystalline ignition order. Anyhow, I digress. So, peridot, like I mentioned, makes a very strong positive impact of the heart and the will, third and fourth chakras in tandem. That is very much an expansion of growth and blessings to all one's endeavors. And an innate extreme positivity generator, which of course translates to physical energy, things of that nature, as well as manifestations, and just the positive heart disposition in tandem with the will is a very powerful way to fortify one's blessed endeavors of their career, their chosen career, or their vocation, or their true endeavor they feel aligned to perform with gusto and blessings. And just overall, a high-yield positivity generator. Hence, that is the main blade band focus of Skywalker. Also, it does have that Luke Skywalker lightsaber green look, which is very appropriate for this construct's intentional full design. So that's pretty spectacular. And to further accelerate that frequency of the peridot ignition sequence is rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz is actually clear quartz of rutile, which is titanium oxide in the matrix to make it a supercharged acceleration of that frequency. So you take the main focus of the peridot frequency and you put a supercharged acceleration, a closed loop circuit. It runs that intensively positive energy and amplifies and supercharges that lovely third, fourth activation to really intensify that blessed sensation. Continuing up this blade band right here is the first lateral band of the transmutation blade band ratio. This ignition sequence of hematite and smoke quartz runs laterally like so, up the sides, up this top lateral band right here, and redirects down into this for its own little closed circuit. That can also work as a energy buffer and filter and grounder of excess radial energy this power pack of a little light blade talisman will produce. So running the current like so, like that, is once again the transmutation blade band ratio with hematite and smoke quartz in tandem, igniting like so. Hematite is a very strong iron-based mineral that has a strong grounding of excess radial energy through the base chakra into the earth stars, into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing. In tandem with the smoky quartz to purify the entire energy field, thinking like etheric composting, would actually take all radial stray energies of any kind of negativity, especially by grounding and arcing it successfully into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing, is an aspect of etheric Teflon, where nothing internal, external, vice versa, will actually even stick to the field because the radial contact patch of this high frequency energy has such a strong, rooted, grounded frequency bypass that it makes the field's etheric energy impervious to negativity. It's at least the theoretical design of this construct. At least it also mitigate and accelerate the grounding of negativity very quickly into the earth meridian matrix for processing. Continuing up here, to honor the extreme enthusiasm generation of the Skywalker platform of peridot is ruby and zoisite at this top apex band where the necklace will actually hang into right here. Ruby and zoisite is a very fantastic synergistic combination, which is also represented right here in a larger format. This will be the hood where the black leather will go. But I want to just take the time to describe both the ruby and zoisite in the raw as well as the bead format in one singularized, streamlined description. Ruby is the most powerful red ray stimulant in the mineral kingdom, basically. Hence, it's been utilized by kings and queens of time immemorial to have a very strong, enthusiastic, powerful, passionate red ray, courage, energy, strong, strengthening aspect, which is also, of course, a very powerful chi prana stimulator to the entire body by giving the red ray concentration. It gives a large boost of energy to the entire base of the chakra column. So that's ruby in a nutshell, to be quite succinct about the subject. Then moving into the green tanzanite, that's actually kind of was a little bit of a slip. But zoisite is actually the cousin to tanzanite, which is a proper blue frequency of the same family. But zoisite has a very effective heart-mind coherence activator. So when you have the trifecta of the enthusiasm of the base chakra, highly enlightened base chakra, if you would, in tandem with the heart-mind coherence of one's true self, it makes a very powerful dynamic shift of those three centers just from that frequency alone to have a really strong enthusiastic anchoring of one's true heart self, heart-mind coherence. And so it was very impeccable for such a high enthusiastic generating frequency to have another capstone to really augment that from a different frequency filter, but have the same energetic complementary results of a green ray enthusiastic energy generation. So that would cover the entirety of the blade banding itself. So as the circuit runs through here like so, around this entire structure, these different devices are hooked into the main primary wire to have a more further range broadcast of the vibratory potential of this device. This down here at the very tip is fulgurite. Fulgurite is a very powerful petrified lightning energy that is the result of lightning striking sand and crystallizing that energy into stone, which is a spectacular, cool story, and the application of that is a very strong lightning field activation to the entire illuminated field, which of course stimulates the entire chakra center from the bottom to the top, and is a very powerful, expansive intention of prayer magnifier, actually. So you can take the power of lightning and strap it to this same aspect, and the blessings of this frequency are super intensified through the power of lightning with that construct right there, which is very powerful for manifestations and prayers intensification. This right here is Libyan gold tektite, a rather larger specimen, which is very complementary to the strong solar plexus activation that Skywalker will produce with the peridot frequency main blade banding. Libyan gold tektite was utilized by pharaohs of old for their power breastplates, and actually was carved into scarab beetles to be the central power pack, if you would, for the entire pharaohic breastplate to charge their solar plexus and sacrum in tandem with a high fire energy element, which was very much known for the mystical god kings of old for magical manifestations. The pharaohs, as everybody knows, were basically sorcerer kings, and so that kind of cosmic magical power of that old timeline is basically very well caught in the stone and utilized by the pharaohs of old, and now applied to this construct right now, today, in 2024, to be a very powerful intensification of manifestation. So obviously the inner queen, inner king, true higher self archetypal nature is very powerful in the stone, as well as the stimulation of the sacrum and solar plexus in tandem. So it gives a strong fire elemental energy in tandem with a storm overture, whole, intensive, illuminated light to the entire aura, which is very powerful for positive manifestations of any kind. In tandem with the peridot and the fulgurite, I believe that probably makes sense that all these frequencies combined have a closed-loop circuit common denominator vibratory goal that will actually affect the auric field's operating system, like a flash drive loading up to a computer, have a really intensive overlap of higher frequency energy for the recipient of this device. And to further heighten the vibes, if you would, is moldavite. Moldavite is a green ray stone of extreme cosmic potency and a stone of synchronicity, magic, and miracles, and is very much a stone of the Holy Grail that aligns the heart to one's higher source configuration or their third blueprint, and really makes the pattern of their highest pattern of their spiritual life come into view. That could be considered rather chaotic for those that have aspects of the false self matrix dying, of their entire life being ruined, they say, because it basically puts you in alignment with your divine nature, and on the whole, all aspects of the false self ego mind identity come crashing down. But the aspect of being utilized in a very complicated, stabilized, grounded frequency buffer is that you get the most out of this cosmic alignment attunement while mitigating any kind of negative, chaotic, undesirable experiences that are growing pains to be successfully bypassed and stabilized and balanced, which I'll explain more into the hood section why that's important, to get the most out of that synchronized source energy of one's highest self template while mitigating all the negative effects by having such a well-designed closed-loop circuit broadcast to, once again, mitigate any undesirable chaotic experiences and really just kind of smooth out the alignment to one's cosmic path in their highest dharma configuration settings. This right here is chaurite. To further augment the wind aspect of this device with a very powerful stimulation of the Soul Star, non-physical chakra, the third eye, crown, solar plexus, base, and the Earth Stars. It's very successful grounding of this wind energy, which is a very powerful chakra calm alignment to bring the higher self configuration energy physically grounded through the etheric body to a very strong contact patch to the Earth Meridian matrix for the one's highest path to be revealed in a very rather obvious manner in tandem with everything else being discussed here. And I'll flip to the back side of this blade face before I describe the rest of the hood. This right here is turquoise. Turquoise is the elemental spectrum of earth, fire, water, and wind, the four elements through a fifth ray focus, so a stone of wholeness and a very sought after metaphysical stone for quite a long time and quite attractive to many individuals due to its beautiful nature and its beautiful energy emanation and just its plain good old wholeness. This is seraphinite right here. Seraphinite is a green ray seraphic broadcast named after the seraphim angels to produce a very seraphic distribution of energy through the entire chakra column. Primarily it's a green ray stone, so of course it has the strongest concentration for the green ray compatibility of the heart chakra. Then we'll actually augment that frequency field with the seraphic healing energy as the energy circulates through its natural system, circulatory system. The augmentation etherically will be a very high pattern DNA crystalline repatterning to dismantle any forms of disease, mentally, physically, or spiritually in tandem. To further augment that is serpentine right here. Serpentine is a very powerful kundalini generator that starts the energy column from the earth all the way up to strengthen and invigorate the entire chakra column. It works lovely in tandem with seraphinite to really embody that higher frequency seraphic energy, as well as stimulate the entire chakra column in unison, producing the light body coherence, or anything interfering with light body coherence gets disengaged from that pattern of wholeness channeling through the entire system. And right here is red jasper, but this section right here will be the hood where black leather will be installed to be a further insulation, color therapy, / also protection of these subtle stones right here. It has many different variable purposes of more than just looks. It's actually a functional piece of device. So I have the black, so the black will further insulate the energy and ground the excess energy. Once again, black ray, Earth Meridian matrix. I digress. So back to red jasper. Red jasper is a very stabilizing red ray earth elemental stone that stabilizes the base chakra, which is very good for consistent longevity energy. Blue lace agate works as a perfect water-based antithesis to the red to the blue, stabilizes the fifth chakra for clarity and impeccability of the word in theory. Actually, that's a very strong belief of mine, considering this particular frequency. It's very helpful in any kind of fifth chakra speaking modalities and being able to talk is very handy in this life, being a beautiful two-legged. Anyhow, this right here is shungite. This is a carbon-based black ray stone that makes a lovely purification to the entire field, and once again, thrice again, actually. It's a black ray stone that grounds all excess energy and purifies the entire template into the Earth Meridian matrix for reprocessing. So, it's also the most effective stone in this timeline to insulate the field from harmful EMF waves or any kind of unnatural broadcasts of cell phone radiation, 5G, you name it. This is the most effective stone in this timeline to counter that exact subtle DNA damaging potentiality those things carry, which can compromise the natural integrity of a natural healthy auric field. So that's why that's there, a very useful functional part of this device. This right here is tiger's eye to further augment mostly the stimulation and the stabilization of the base, sacrum, and solar plexus, which the lower three chakras are very much the invigoration points of physical energy. So this is what that is designed to encourage in this placement. To further augment that previous statement is fire agate. Fire agate is a fire elemental stone that stabilizes the base, sacrum, and solar plexus. So, very useful stone to really stabilize lower three, very much the zest for life, in the body enthusiasm, kind of adventurous energy, so to speak, much like ruby in itself, except it has a very stabilized version. So now that I'm discussing the next agate, which is moss green agate, heart and base stimulation through the water elemental frequency right here, stimulating the heart and base in tandem to anchor the factory etheric blueprint settings in a very stabilized, heart-centered way. But the aspect of the Agus in the different filters of earth, fire, water stabilize the entire frequency over pitch to make the transferability of this frequency of this device to be stabilized in the elemental spectrums corresponding with the idealized chakra calm template, etheric blueprint, if you would. So they're quite paramount in any kind of talisman format. So if this is being worn and being wielded in the custody of this wielder, this frequency will have a very stabilized overture to diffuse and buffer the energy correctly through the centers, and most importantly, a stabilized filter so that the results of wearing this kind of frequency broadcast on the device has a very stabilized long-term effect flash drive update to the operating system auric field. Anyhows, and to further purify that, once again, this is Jet. Just like Shungite, Jet is a black ray carbon-based stone that is utilized by primarily, more famously I should say, Druids of old for neutralizing black magic. But in this day and age, since it is a black ray carbon-based filter, it is much like an etheric charcoal filter that will purify any kind of negativities into, you guessed it, the Earth Meridian Matrix for reprocessing by purifying the entire energy pattern by giving a safe outlet and arcing it out into the Earth. A lot of these different devices oftentimes have a heavy concentration of black ray stones just to be a very strong, safe arcing and purification of energy, which manifests as a better reality experience internally, externally. That's the concentration of black ray being utilized with a higher frequency output, which I'll get back to the selenites in a moment, and I'll break my tangent of the hood section. This right here is Skoasite, a white ray stone of extreme divinity in wind elemental format, a strong stimulation of the 6th and 7th chakras, but in a very peaceful, calm oasis of Zen kind of way. Very much a stone of the higher witness self perspective, and a very lovely crown soul star activation to have the higher aspects of one's true witness self-sovereign divine nature more obviously manifested into the conscious self. In tandem with that right here is Argonite. This is actually a star Argonite that I took this piece off to be able to fit into this talisman. Argonite is a calcium-based stone that is very powerful for light body activation, and it actually activates the entire chakra column in its own right and purifies any aspects of impediments through the light body field. So a very essential stone to be utilized in tandem with everything else is a full light body activator that clears any densities that would impede the natural light body flow of the recipient of this device. And back to this section real quick. This is selenite on both sides of this oak core right here. Oak is a very dense atomical structure which comes from my lovely backyard, and is a druidic stone of ancient utilization based on strength and strong, known as the wood of heroes, tree of heroes, or kings, if you would, due to its very strong stature. And of course has a very dense atomical rate, which is very strengthening, carbon-based ray based on our carbon-based avatars to resonate with that frequency of oak. So very strengthening frequency as a platform. Back to the selenite. Selenite, the white stones on both sides of the oak core, have a lovely purification of the entire densities of any aspects of auric field, primarily activate the 6th and 7th chakras and non-physical chakras for higher self-continuity. But the use of a selenite pattern in this frequency device is quite vast in the aspect that it can take the entire frequency running through the device, amplify, harmonize, and purify them in tandem as it completes its circuit. So obviously, that's a very powerful harmonization, amplification, purification of this entire frequency output, which is very self-evidently awesome for this application. And next to the selenite is 4 spectrums of kyanite, considering black, orange, green, and blue kyanites. Taking those 4 spectrum of kyanites, they make very rapid transfers of energy through the energy centers, both Earth star, soul star, top and bottom, from receptive, projective, and you can also think of it as another layer of etheric insulation or etheric Teflon that can actually really make very rapid redirections of energy to the highest configuration. You can think of this as also being very situational energy reactive for the wielder of this device to have like the proper flow of energy, inflating the auric fields to its optimal configuration and very reactive to the situational needs of the wielder of this device. This gets pretty meta and very complex to describe, so I'll do my best to keep it condensed as possible. So the aspect of the black kyanite grounds all excess radio energy very rapidly to the Earth stars, which is also very reactive to the whole device's required needs to keep the perpetual design balance for the wielder of this device. The black kyanite is very essential for rapidly altering and buffering as it needs to be to get the ground successfully anchored through. The orange kyanite successfully stabilizes and transfers the sacrum energy very rapidly for wherever the required wielder's highest good is at any given moment based on their higher self template. The green kyanite rapidly bridges any kind of heart energies, projective, receptive, and also heart to spirit, heart to Mother Earth, in a very quick way where no stagnacies can really stay in this field because anything that's not of the highest configuration gets rapidly discharged and bridged so quickly that it has no chance to really stick any kind of... So it's also very effective for re-stitching and repatterning the highest configuration in the four spectrums of kyanite. The blue kyanite makes very rapid transfers of the third eye, neural pathway, right-left hemispheres to their optimal configurations in tandem, aka awakened third eye, right and left hemisphere in perfect tandem, and makes very, very powerful clearing of any kind of thought forms that interfere with one's higher self matrix in tandem with the rest of this frequency operating system. It's a lot to describe sometimes, so it can be quite the mouthful. I am very grateful for anybody's patience watching this. This right here is golden healer quartz, which is a gold white light Christ frequency generator, which dramatically aligns one's heart to the source of creation, or spirit. So that would be the main engine of this entire termination sequence running through this circuit, would be the source energy emanation, if you would. And I believe that is the full description of a light blade talisman named Skywalker. In conclusion, this device is made to be a very enthusiastic, fun frequency that can be very easily worn and engaged on a daily person's journey, for example. And to keep one in touch with the Force, which is the whole point of any light tech that passes through my hands into distribution, is to maintain that Jedi perspective of oftentimes stewards of creation in service to creation. Like the Force. And that's what it comes down to. So Skywalker is a very fun foray into that endeavor, to have a very concentrated, fun frequency energy that is very much a blessing and very much positive intensity on a talisman format that's relatively easy to wear considering how complex and compact this vibratory platform is, and it's very positive, intense vibratory output. It's very zingy. Like when engaged, it's very, very exciting. It has a very fun frequency to it that is basically a blessing on a stick. Well, 1,000 blessings, and I hope everybody has a great day. May the Force be with us all.